Did Prince Harry just create a diplomatic nightmare during his surprise Ukraine visit with President Zelensky? Let's put it this way, perhaps his conscience isn't clear after all. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Dose the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because did Prince Harry create a diplomatic nightmare during his most recent surprise Ukraine visit with none other than President Zelensky? As I said before, perhaps his conscience isn't clear after all, something that he claims is to be true during that certain surprise Ukraine visit. Well, more details have now come out, and apparently Prince Harry may have actually met up with President Zelensky, but gone against the wishes of the UK government. Like, if this has happened, dude is freaking insane at this point. He's gone beyond. So this is being reported by NV, the new voice of Ukraine, NV Nation, saying the following. UK government opposed Zelensky meeting with Prince Harry. So they're saying that Prince Harry may have met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during his September the 12th visit to Kiev, though he has not confirmed it amid reported opposition from the British government, The Guardian wrote on September the 14th. So according to the outlet, whose journalists accompanied Harry in Ukraine after visiting the memorial to fallen soldiers on Independence Square, the prince's car then all of a sudden separates from the official motorcade for about an hour. And to be fair, for someone who's all about, oh, my security, right? I need the best level of security, this, that, and the other. To enter a war zone, right? A literal war zone. And then all of a sudden be like, yeah, let's just kind of split off from the motorcade and, you know, the safety and all the security that's there. Yeah, that's gotta have raised a few eyebrows. Do you know what I mean? So Harry all of a sudden splitting off from the motorcade and the majority of his security. Yeah, he's got a question to answer there. What the hell did he do during that allotted, and I'm going to call it missing time? Well, the opinion conspiracy theory, whatever goes, that he met up with President Zelensky. So when he rejoined the team afterwards, Harry apparently became reserved and silent. And The Guardian wrote there's a suspicion that he went to meet Volodymyr Zelensky, but neither he nor the president want to admit it. The report said that the British government made it clear to Zelensky that he should not meet with a rebellious member of the royal family on the same day British Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper was also in Kiev. In diplomatic circles, it was described as a move that would be a puzzling political step, The Guardian reported. And this is the thing, right? The British government is literally turning around to Prince Harry and saying, do not visit President Zelensky, right? How do you think that conversation came up in the first place? For me, the British government ain't all of a sudden just going to turn around and say, don't meet up with Zelensky. No. For me, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, right? Harry went to the government and said, right, okay, I'm going to be visiting Ukraine. I need security for X, Y, and Z as per, you know, the current deal that he has with our government to get taxpayer-funded security, right? Okay. So he goes to our government. He says, right, as part of my visit to the UK, I'm going to be making a surprise trip to the Ukraine, and I need this kind of security, this, that, and the other. He then has to tell the government, as part of the deal, what he's going to be doing in Ukraine, right? So the government can then work out the level of security that he'll require whilst in that country, okay? Harry will have turned round and said, it is my intention to see President Zelensky. It would have been at that point that then the government would have turned around and said, piss off, that ain't happening. Not a freaking chance. Do not see President Zelensky. The optics aren't good. Just don't freaking do it. Guess what? According to this report that I've just gone through, if this is all true, then Hazard just went against the British government and saw President Zelensky. And this is the thing, right? Going back to what I said before, the reports state that all of a sudden, Hazard then splits from his motorcade, goes off in a completely separate direction. For someone who's in a war zone, who's all about his security, right? Why would he split off from his security and the whole motorcade to go off pretty much on his own in a war zone in Ukraine? What does he not want us to know as to what he did during those missing minutes, missing hours, however long he was away for, right? For me, I believe this report. For me, I totally believe, right, that Hazard met up with President Zelensky. Why? Because of what they're not saying. So in the report, it states that President Zelensky essentially will neither confirm nor deny if the meeting took place. That's all I need to know. If the meeting didn't take place, President Zelensky would be like, yeah, no, that didn't happen at all. No, not a chance, not a chance. The fact that he's not coming out with an out-and-out denial, to me, also says it all. So where are we left at this point? Hazard has created, if this is true, an absolute diplomatic nightmare by going against the British government and seeing President Zelensky. The ego on Hazard is absolutely enormous if this is the case, right? But also, it may be his undoing. Why? Because in this scenario, if he's gone against the British government to visit President Zelensky, he split off from the motorcade where the majority of his security will have been. British government next time might be like, well, hang on a minute. Maybe you don't need that security after all. If you're happy in a war zone to go off on your own for an hour or two, do you really need our security? Really? And even then, for Hazard not following the security and the plans that the security team would have had in place by going off on his own and going away from the security team, again, that creates problems as well for the future. Because the next time he wants to go to the British government and be like, I'm coming to the UK, I need security, this, that, and the other, British government might actually turn around and be like, no, not with how you dealt with us before in Ukraine. He might have just buggered the whole thing up for himself. And you know what? He deserves that karma. But enough about what I think. What do you guys think? With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe here on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, or whatever. If this is true, right? Did Hazard just create a diplomatic nightmare by seeing President Zelensky during his visit to Ukraine, even after the British government allegedly turned around and says, don't do it? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate all your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.